There's something about Barbados that just makes you relax, makes all the stress dissipate. You're not really depressed, you just need a trip to Barbados. Carnival is the first weekend in August, around the 5th of August, around there. So I would say if you're in the mood to party, go before then.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trip 101 Travel Talk series. I'm pleased to welcome Julia, who's joining me all the way from Canada. A very warm welcome to you, Julia. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to me today. Julia is going to tell us all about her trip to the Caribbean nation of Barbados, and I'm very excited to speak to her. So, Julia, before we start talking about Barbados, because I'm sure you have lots of stories to share from your trip, I'd like to know you a little bit more. Please tell me about yourself. What do you do? And yourself as a traveler. How do you travel?
My name is Julia. I'm originally from Ghana and I've been loving and visiting Barbados recently. I'm a travel, lifestyle, and beauty content creator on Instagram, TikTok, and expanding to YouTube. I love to travel, so I'm just sharing as well my journey with you. And the type of traveler I am, I would say quite balanced. I like activity, but I also like relaxation. I feel like you can have the best of both worlds. So that's the type of traveler that I am.
That's the best type, I think. The one that when you can have a trip and a vacation together.
Exactly. I feel like you can have the best of both worlds if you plan well.
So, how are you in Canada right now? Is that where you're based currently?
Yes, I'm based in Montreal in the cold, hence why I'm always traveling. And my destination choices are always warm places because I'm based in Montreal. It's very cold most of the year. The summers are great, but the winters can be difficult.
Oh wow, that's the first time I've heard someone say that's why they travel. They want to escape the cold.
Yes. I've been living in Montreal for a few years. I come from Ghana, which is always sunny all year around, and coming here was a challenge at first. But I've learned to appreciate winter. My solution to fighting the winter is escaping through travel. I can learn about different cultures, explore new countries. It's honestly a good balance.
That's cool, yeah. So what about Barbados? How did you decide on that trip? Was it always on your radar, or did something happen and you learn about it and then you planned your trip?
Yes, so Barbados has always been on my bucket list. I've seen pictures and videos. My sister went a few years ago and told me how amazing it was. My best friend was based in Montreal, so every time she would go back and invite me, I could not say no. And my best friend and I are also inseparable. So a few days or weeks without each other, we start to miss each other. So I had to go visit her. So all of my trips to Barbados have been to visit her. So yeah,
Oh.
that was my main reason. Yeah.
That's cool. So how many times have you been to Barbados?
I've been a few times. The first time I went was in October 2023. There was the Rum and Food Festival as well at the same time, so I was able to participate in those events. Also went Easter last year, summer last year, and then October again. So I've been 4 times total. And most
Wow.
of my trips there have ranged from a minimum of 10 days to 3 weeks. So the more I go, the more I extend the trip.
So you're not just a traveler to Barbados, you're almost becoming a bit of a local
Yeah,
now.
I'm waiting for my passport. Yes.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
what is it about Barbados, apart from your best friend who lives there? What is it about Barbados that you really love?
First of all, the warmth. Escaping the cold was one of my main reasons. I really like island life. It's very much paced at the beach, very relaxing. There's something about Barbados that just makes you relax, makes all the stress dissipates. You're not really depressed, you just need a trip to Barbados. That's my version. Beach there, the food, the people are so friendly, so welcoming. It's a great experience overall. From the first time I went, I knew I was going back, and that was the case. I kept going back. And for sure, I see myself going back again.
So, in these 4 trips that you have now done, you've seen Barbados at various times of the year, right? Is there something special happening every time you go? You mentioned like a festival on your first visit. How do the months vary in Barbados?
So in October, There's the Rum and Food Festival. They had an event at Oystins with a band playing steel pans. So if you want to go enjoy music, if you want to just learn more about the culture, and then there's also an event where there's there are different chefs from around the Caribbean, I believe. And then they have different dishes, and you go pick some up. You get also cocktails from the best bartenders, and it's just a great experience overall. There's some shows as well. And last time in October, it was Ira Star, who's like a famous Afrobeat star, and I love her. My best friend loves her, so once we saw the tickets, we had to get it. And another, also one of the busiest times as well in Barbados, because every time I kept going, I went in Easter as well, and every time people kept saying you need to come for crop over season, the carnival season in Barbados. So I was lucky enough to go in August. It fell in time for my birthday. It's a good excuse for a birthday trip. During that season, there are lots of parties, there are a lot of fetes. So if you follow the right Instagram pages to stay in the loop, there are lots of parties happening, so you will not get bored. Especially if you like Caribbean music, soca, dancehall. Even if you don't know it, you can find out more about it and learn more about it. And it's very enjoyable. It's very easy to enjoy in Barbados.
For you, you'd have your best friend over there sharing all the updates about what's the best
Exactly.
thing that's happening, and
Exactly.
you can arrive for it.
Yes, it keeps me in the loop for sure.
So, what would you say are the best spots to visit in Barbados? What are your personal favorites in the 4 trips? What spots stood out for you? What are your highlights?
Yeah, so there's so many because every single time I go back, I find another new spot that is my new favorite spot. But in terms of beaches, you're spoiled for choice. There's so many gorgeous beaches, and I believe that their Barbados beaches are also public, so that's really good. And I feel like that helps as well the local community not privatizing beaches. So that's a great initiative I feel like the Bajan government put in place. So amazing beaches, Boatyard and Pebbles have to be my top two because Boatyard is essentially a beach that when you pay for the ticket, you get to go snorkeling as well. So that's good. You get to go snorkeling, see sea turtles, and get drinks, have an inflatable trampoline as well. So Boatyard is where you go if you want a bit of activity, relaxation, but also activity. And Pebbles as well. It's a great beach. I've seen a lot of great spots as well. I know there's the Animal Flower Cave. Like we were lucky enough to do like a tour of the island. So we went to the Animal Flower Cave, and that's what my background is right now. It's gorgeous. So we saw it from the top, and we also went into the cave, and it's just beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. Those are some of my favorite spots. There's also Hunt's Garden. It feels like you're walking in an enchanted forest, if I could say. It's beautiful. So many large trees, so much. It's just very quiet as well, so you can hear the birds chirping. It felt like another world. I felt so relaxed. Yes.
So beautiful caves and gardens, and then of course, like the amazing Caribbean beaches are what await you in Barbados.
Yes.
What would you say are like some little known spots? You're saying how like every time you go, you find a new spot that becomes your favorite. So I'm sure some of those are actually like not very well known or something that travelers tend to miss out on when they're just dropping by for a day or two, when they're going to the Caribbean just as a short trip. So what would you say are like some spots that are special for you because maybe you found them out not knowing about them before, or that it would be difficult for you because your friend would definitely know.
Yes. I feel like for the spots, I feel like one tip I can give is depending on which area you're staying in, look at different restaurants when you drive by, look at different bars because that's one thing that we did. We just saw a bar that is not very known, very publicized. And we're like, one night, we're like, let's just go sit down. It's next to the beach. We really loved it. The service was good, the food was good. And just like that, we discovered another bar. So it was just, so I would say a general tip would be just explore, be open-minded, and try things that are not necessarily big in your face, publicized, that those could be hidden gems that you're missing out on.
Keep your eyes open. There are plenty of things to sort of that will be
Exactly.
good.
Exactly. Another good thing, I think this is not necessarily not known, but Mount Gay is a big rum producer in Barbados, the birthplace of Barbados rum. So the Mount Gay Rum Distillery has a rum tour that they do. And it's very interesting because they tell you about the different types of rum, they tell you about the history of rum. So, and you get little drinks as well. And they also have a cocktail making workshop that's really great. So, I highly recommend, such a fun activity.
You can try out rum while you're on the tour and also learn about the history of how it was produced, how it's linked to the island itself, right?
Exactly.
Have you had a chance to do some cultural or historical tours of Barbados as well? Some tours where you get to learn about its history a little bit?
I would say the rum tour was very historical.
Okay.
That was very historical. We also went to the Barbados Museum. That was very historical as well. Just the tour of the island. We got a tour guide through someone word of mouth, so I wouldn't be able to recommend him, unfortunately. But he was able to take us around, show us different places, Town, and talk to us briefly about the history of the different locations. That was amazing. Yeah.
I also want to know about the food you tried over there. Like, I'm really looking forward to discussing some must-try dishes in Barbados because Caribbean food is really special.
Exactly. That was one thing I was very much excited about as well. And I forgot to mention when I was talking about the type of traveler, I am a foodie. I will try the local food. I will try whatever's popping in the country. So if you go to Barbados, everything fish, you need to try. So at the beach that I mentioned, Pebbles Beach, there's a famous fish stand, Cuz's Fish Stand. They have the best fish cutters. They're fish sandwiches and they're so good. And also another thing that's really known is that you need to go to Oystins on a Friday night. It does get very full, but I believe you can go a different night as well. But the one where everyone goes is Friday night because sometimes there's a show. It was funny. There was a Spider-Man dancing, all the music and dancing. And then they have different restaurants that you could go to, and they have good fish. Like they have swordfish, they have dolphin fish, which is not actual dolphin, but it's just a type of fish that they call dolphin fish. So those were that with macaroni pie. That's your meal. And also try breadfruit. That's what I would say. And there are two restaurants that really blew my mind are Champers and QP Bistro. They're beautiful. You can watch the sunset. Very beautiful locations. I would not miss. Yeah.
And you were telling me about Oyston's on a Friday night. So is Oyston the place for young people, for parties?
No, I would say it's pretty family friendly. Very open, different ages, very family friendly food wise. Yeah. Very much enjoying.
Okay. So where do the young people go?
It was through following the right Instagram pages. My friend was very connected. She would stay in tune with all the Instagram posts. During crop over season, there are a lot of Instagram pages that post when the next party is. It's easy to find the parties, yeah.
And it's also seasonal, like the crop over season is when the biggest things might be happening.
Yes, exactly. That's the time to party. If that's what you want, that's the time to party. Yes,
Yeah.
it starts
So
in July and goes on to August.
if you're looking to go to Barbados when it's time to party, then go in August.
Yeah, start in July, and towards the end of the first week of August is when the last parties are, because Carnival is the first weekend in August, around the 5th of August, around there. So I would say if you're in the mood to party, go before then, all up to then, if you have the stamina.
That's a good suggestion, definitely. Yeah, Judy, I want to know how easy or difficult it is to go around in Barbados. Is public transport available or do you rent a car? How do you navigate once you arrive?
So what we did is we used this app called Pickup Barbados. That was the equivalent of Uber. You order your ride, the driver comes, everything was good, everything was safe, and they they take you to where you are, and you can also just make friends with them as well, so they can, if you have, because it might be hard finding rides at certain times, as it is with Uber as well, sometimes in some different countries, either super late night or super early morning. So you can become friends with the drivers, and they'll like, and you can tell them about an upcoming trip you have, and then they'll be very open as well to driving you there. Yeah.
So that's easy with Pick Me Up Barbados.
Yeah, pick up Barbados. Yeah.
Pick Up Barbados. Okay.
And the most recent trip, we used public transportation as well, but that was mostly my friend guiding me. I know it's 350 Bayesian dollars and you have to have exact change, but honestly, I feel if you ask a local to explain to you how the bus routes work, they're super easy to use, super
Hmm.
accessible, super easy to use. It's just in terms of scheduling, you don't always know when they're gonna arrive, but if you're not in a rush, I think that's a good way to save money because taxis can be very expensive. I think that's one thing I noticed. Transportation can be quite pricey. So if you want to save on transportation, learn how to use public transportation, especially if you're there for a long time.
For budget, if you're looking to save money, then definitely find out about the bus routes and be a
That
little bit patient with them.
exactly.
Okay. So you were telling me about like how you were staying with your friend during the various times that you have visited, because of course your bestie stays there, so you would stay with her.
Exactly. I was lucky enough, yeah.
Yeah. So where's your friend based? Is she Bridgetown?
Yes, in Bridgetown. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Like if for most travelers when they are visiting, Bridgetown is like the base that they would easily be able to get to. Fly into Bridgetown and then they can explore the whole of Barbados from there, right?
Yeah, flying into Bridgetown was super simple. There were flights directly from Montreal, but now I always have to go to Toronto. I think those flights have been discontinued, but flying into Bridgetown is super easy. Yeah. An airport tip is you don't have to worry about necessarily like booking in advance like a ride. Like there's taxi dispatch at the airport. You give them the address you're going to, which area you're going to, and then you take the taxi from there. They give you, and they're also set prices, so you don't have to worry about negotiating or anything. It's just
Oh.
written. So you just tell them, they write a receipt, you keep one and pay in cash. Yes.
Oh wow. That's super convenient, yeah, because
Yeah.
airport traveling from the airport can become quite tedious sometimes.
Yes, exactly. That's a lifesaver.
Would you have any other tips that you would like to share with travelers who are planning a trip to Barbados? Things that they should know before they go or take with them so that their trip is easy?
I would say mosquito repellent. Sometimes mosquitoes can be vicious. I always carry repellent and after bite lotions because I always get bit. I always keep that in my bag whenever I'm traveling there.
That's a good tip, yeah. And you mentioned like mostly you have to pay in cash, like to the taxis or for the buses as well. So one should definitely carry cash with them while
Yeah,
visiting.
yeah. Definitely carry cash. One thing that surprised me is they have Canadian banks like RBC over there. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was able to take cash from the ATM, but come in advance with cash, like carry cash. I would say carry cash for sure. Because they use Barbados dollars, 2 USD, unless the currency changes 2 USD to one Barbados dollars. But yeah.
Hmm, okay. And how easy or difficult sort of communicate in Barbados? Does everyone speak English, or is there any sort of difficult speaking to the locals?
No, it's super simple. It's English speaking, and I speak English, so it was super simple for me. But if you don't speak English, maybe start taking some English lessons. But if you're an English speaker, it's super easy to communicate with the locals. Yeah.
Okay. I think I've gotten to know a lot about Barbados today from you, and certainly like the tips that you have about just to make your trip easy and especially save money on the taxis is quite helpful.
Yes. Have you ever been to Barbados?
No, I've never been that side of the
Now you
world.
have all the tips. Now you have all the tips. You can start planning your
Yeah, definitely, for sure. If you had to describe your trips to Barbados in a few sentences to convince someone to go to Barbados, what would you tell them?
In one sentence, I would say the beautiful, soft island life. That's just one sentence I would use to describe because it's really just relaxing. I just feel like that's the life I deserve. In terms of being relaxed, in terms of just thinking about when your next beach day is, like Barbados really gets you relaxed.
Yeah. What if a traveler has decided to be in Barbados for a day? What would you tell them to do if someone, a friend reaches out to you and says that I'm going to be in Barbados for a day? Just tell me what all can I do in a span of 8 to 10 hours of daylight.
So I would say start the morning at 5 a.m. I would say we had a lot of 5 a.m. mornings because my friend and were both in our active bags. So her and her mom and I would always go 5 a.m. on the boardwalk next to the beach. A lot of people go work out there in the morning. So they go for walks, for runs. So start your morning there. And there used to be a lot of art pieces. I don't know if it's back, but then like it got destroyed and everything. So, but hopefully it's back because they were gorgeous. And walk on the boardwalk. So that's your 5 a.m. walk. And as a lot of people go, especially like early in the morning around 6, because it gets super hot. So start then, maybe go have a little beach time, maybe get a coffee, maybe get a drink, take some time on the beach. Then I would say maybe then visit the animal flower cave. I would say bring anti-slip socks and your bathing suit and spend some time there, explore. So I feel like that cave is beautiful and you can't miss it. Then I would say try a catamaran. So having a catamaran day, and that's really good because you can get food on there, you can go snorkeling, and it's a plus if it's a sunset catamaran. That's beautiful. And how would we end our night? It depends. If it's a Friday, that's a plus. You can have a Friday night at Oystons and call it a night.
Okay.
If you can find a soca fete, go there. Go to the party. Your flight can be the next day, but you will be up on time.
That would be like an amazing as in Barbados, getting up at 5 in the
Yes,
morning
for sure.
to
Yes, because if you only have 24 hours, use all the hours.
start with a workout and end with a party. So
Exactly.
all the boxes checked.
Exactly.
In these trips to Barbados, have you brought back any souvenirs that you remember the summer by in your winter months in Montreal?
So I have a Barbados shot glass. I have a Barbados shot glass and a little Barbados flag from the parties because there are a lot of waving the flags. I have my Bayesian flag.
What other souvenirs apart from the flag and the shot glass that you would recommend other travelers to pick up?
I would say pepper sauce from Barbados. Every time I land and I go to my friend's house, I have a patty and pepper sauce, and that's my meal every single time. No this, but packing, I always travel with a carry-on, so unfortunately, I have a liquid limit. But
Mm.
if I go back with the checked bag, know that I'm bringing back pepper sauce.
Oh wow. Those are interesting souvenirs, yeah.
Yes,
And maybe definitely people who like a drink can carry back some rum as well.
yes, exactly. If you love a drink, that's the perfect place to get rum.
Yeah. So it's been great speaking to you today, Julia, about Barbados. It sounds like a fun place. I would be interested in checking it out, even if it's just for that 24-hour span in which I start my day with a workout and end it with a party.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope the information shared today will be of use to our viewers. And if they have any further questions, they can definitely reach out to you. All your details are in the description below. And with that, I would like to thank you for taking the time. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. All this talk about Barbados is making me want to book another trip.
I'm sure you'll be going back pretty soon.
Yes, for sure.
It'll, it'll be winter again in Canada again. I'm sure it still is, but
Yeah, it's the winter
before.
storm out now. Yeah.
All right, with that, we will sign off for today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.